Listen, it was freaking huge. It was going really slow. It had these big lights in it. It didn't make a sound. That's the point. It was there. We saw it. There's no doubt in our minds whatsoever what we saw. It doesn't matter to me whether you believe me or not. It doesn't. It only matters to you because we know what we saw.
Thousands here in Arizona witnessed the most documented UFO sighting in the world.
On March 13th, 1997, people in the state of Arizona witnessed what has been called
the largest mass sighting of a UFO ever. Claims spanning from the northern reaches of Arizona to the beginning of Mexico of a triangular or boomerang-shaped object emitting points of light. The event was widely reported.
It is the light show which turned on the lights, so to speak, for many non-believers, doubters, or people flat out in the dark about UFOs. One of those skeptics was Dr. Lynn Kitai.
I am a healthy skeptic, but I saw this up close and personal and captured 35mm photographs of it. On March 13th, 1997, while thousands of people were looking skyward purposely for a glimpse of the Hale-Bopp comet, they also caught a glimpse of these V or delta or boomerang-shaped orbs.
Something strange happened in the skies over Arizona that still hasn't been fully explained. An event now known as the Phoenix Lights.
It was extraordinary.
No one knows for sure what happened that night in the skies over Arizona in March, but thousands of people saw something.
There are multiple perspectives from thousands of people about the Phoenix Lights, and still to this day, it remains to be a phenomenon that is discussed and debated. Some people believe that the Phoenix Lights are proof that extraterrestrials exist. Others believe that it was secret military testing or military flares, while others agree that the lights seem to be otherworldly, but they can't say for sure what it is they saw in the sky that March evening in Arizona. Starting around 8 o'clock in the evening, the first report was from a man who witnessed a V-shaped object traveling east above Henderson, Nevada. 20 minutes later, the next report came in from Paulden, Arizona. A retired police officer reported that he saw 6 orange lights moving overhead while driving home. As he returned home, he saw the lights move south over the horizon. The next report came from Prescott Valley, where a couple reported they had seen the lights traveling south. According to the National UFO Reporting Center, a report from someone doing astrophotography came in that day. It was reported that lights in a V shape were seen moving slowly in the sky, traveling to the northeast. Then the lights turned south and traveled out of sight. Soon after, 6 people located 10 miles east of Prescott in Dewey witnessed the same lights. In northern Phoenix, reports of a boomerang-shaped object lined with orange lights was seen flying overhead. It was at about 8:30 to 8:40 that night when sightings of the lights started to come in from all over Phoenix, Arizona. Later that night, the lights disappeared. It is said that the final report came from a phone booth in the Kingman area. A man reported that on his way to Los Angeles, he saw lights to his north. The reports were showing that the lights were a part of a larger object as the stars in the sky were blocked as it passed. Overall, the reports came in from a wide array of witnesses, including but not limited to military personnel, emergency response workers, as well as other various professionals and residents of the state of Arizona. Despite the wide array of various people reporting, the reports stayed consistent with one another.
It wasn't 1 or 2 events. There were many events over many, many hours.
She came in the house and she said, "Mom, you've got to run out and see what's over Camelback Mountain."
March 13th, 1997, Sue Watson joined her 2 daughters and 2 sons in the front yard of their Phoenix home just south of Camelback Mountain.
We came right in the front yard and we saw this huge aircraft coming over, probably covered half the mountain.
The Phoenix Lights became famous world over.
Majority of the media would snicker and laugh, "Oh yes, right, sure." But that's not happening anymore.
I saw a huge craft just kind of come right over Squaw Peak. That was, it was just breathtaking. I'm serious now. That unquestionably it was a UFO, which means unidentified flying object.
It doesn't mean we're being visited.
Well, it's nothing like anything I've ever seen.
And you're an Air Force guy?
Yeah, and a pilot. Got a lot of hours flying. So it was pretty breathtaking.
Did it frighten you?
No, I think I was kind of in awe, really, you know.
How big?
Bigger than anything I've ever seen in the sky.
Like an aircraft carrier in the sky?
Yeah. It was absolutely silent and had sort of eerie embedded lights, and, you know, so that's what I saw.
Do you believe it was ours? Do you believe it was something from the U.S. government?
I don't think so. I think this was technologically far advanced. This is something from another world, you know.
Is that what?
And I think I really believe that. I believe that. But I've always been open to that. You know, we're not alone in the universe.
I agree with you.
We're going to find that. We're going to find that out one way or the other.
I do believe that we're not alone. I just don't know that we've been visited. But you think maybe that night we were?
I think so. Yeah, there've been so many different sort of sightings and inexplicable phenomena.
Did it hover?
No, it was just going in a straight line.
Slow pace.
Yeah, slow pace. Yeah. And then, you know, there were all the
Not
sightings.
flares.
There were the sightings of the America West plane coming into Sky Harbor. Said he could have landed on it.
It was enormous.
Yeah.
Like an aircraft carrier in the sky. Is that about as close?
Yeah,
as
I think that's a fair description.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
One of the main reasons the Phoenix lights gained so much attention was due to the large amount of witnesses. However, the U.S. has a long history of UFO sightings. One of the most notorious sightings was back in 1947 when an unidentified flying object crashed into a farm in Roswell, New Mexico. The story of what happened in Roswell is still alive and well today, with many people interested.
The government recovered a crashed flying saucer and alien bodies here in New Mexico. It's one of the biggest stories of the millennium.
In 1947, something silver fell from the sky and crashed into the desert. A local rancher found the debris and turned it over to the local air base. The government took immediate action and for the first and only time in U.S. history, issued a press release stating that they had found a flying disc.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found sometime last week at Roswell, New Mexico, and is now in the possession of the Army.
As the story made headlines all across the nation, a UFO scare started to ignite. At first, they released a press release stating that they had found a flying saucer. And then the next day, they retracted that statement and making a new statement that the debris was just a weather balloon. As the conflicting stories aired, conspiracies started to build.
The military claimed it was just a weather balloon, but whisked it away to other bases in Texas and Ohio for further tests.
In Fort Worth, Texas, where the object was first sent, Brigadier General Roger Ramey says that it is being shipped by air to the AAF Research Center at Wright Field, Ohio. A few moments ago, I talked to officials at Wright Field, and they declared that they expect the so-called flying saucer to be delivered there, but that it hasn't arrived as yet. Colonel William Blanchard of the Roswell Air Base refuses to give details of what the flying disc looks like.
According to Roswell researchers, government-sanctioned bond of secrecy prevented witnesses from the crash and retrieval from coming forward publicly. But many did choose to come forward later on in life, including Major Jesse Marcel, who was the intelligence officer at the Roswell Air Base in 1947. It was Major Marcel's job to investigate the crash site on the ranch in Roswell, New Mexico. When Major Marcel did come forward with his information, he confided in Stanton T. Friedman, a physicist and UFOologist.
I first talked to Jesse in '78.
I found one piece of metal, what looked like metal anyway. It was not flexible, but it was as thin as a foil of a pack of cigarettes. I tried to make a dent in this metal, but he says, you can't bend it, you can't make a mark on it. He says, I took a sledgehammer and whammed it. I put it on the ground and whammed it. The sledgehammer bounced off of it. It was definitely not a weather balloon. And it was an aircraft. So what it could have been, I wouldn't know.
There was no reason for anybody to lie under those circumstances. Forgetting about the fact if you're suggesting the intelligence officer for the most elite military group in the world is going to make up a crazy story like this. It doesn't make any sense.
According to Major Marcel's grandson, it was very common for Major Marcel to share details of his work and investigation of Roswell with his family. According to Major Marcel's family, after visiting the site, Major Marcel returned home with a box of debris and then placed it out on the kitchen floor. Some of the material was a strange, thin metal, similar to foil, except when you crumpled it up into a ball, it would bounce back to its original form. According to Major Marcel's family, the metal that Major Marcel brought home was not the same material that was shown in so many publicized photographs. 50 years after the incident, the Air Force released a report stating that the records were part of a secret spy program. For many believers, this is just another cover-up. Thousands of curious people come to Roswell every year looking for more information on the story that happened back in 1947.
What are your thoughts and perspectives on this? I would really love to hear any information that you have regarding the topic in the comments below. So please feel free to share with me any thoughts that you may have. I love hearing from you. I enjoy your perspectives, and I believe that everybody's perspective is valid. To me, it's hard to believe that there's not life out there somewhere else. It's hard to believe in the vastness of what is outer space, that we would be the only life to exist. If there are extraterrestrials out there that are more evolved than us, I would think it's safe to bet that they are a peaceful life form. The energy that flows to us and through us, that well-being, that energy of creation, that energy of love is what I believe we're made of. Why couldn't the extraterrestrials just be another creation? Through our earthly experiences, we can see things in different perspectives. So we might not always feel love. That's okay. But I do believe that all of creation, and that is including extraterrestrials, are made of that one energy, universal oneness, not just earth oneness, but universal oneness. I just want you to know I appreciate you regardless of any labels or beliefs, and I'm sending you love, and I'm sending you good vibes, and I'm wishing you all the best days, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you for your time. Don't forget to leave me a comment. Give a thumbs up if you liked the video, and subscribe if you want to see future videos from me. I would love to connect with you.
I'm an extraterrestrial.